Hi, welcome to Project Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons here at the GEOINT 2025 Symposium in St. Louis, Missouri. And in this round, I have the pleasure of talking to Trevity, correct?
That's correct.
All right, sweet. Well, gentlemen, I would like to go down the line here before we get started with the company, talk about you. So we'll start with you at the end.
Oh boy.
Give me a good indication of who you are and how you got started within the industry.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Dan DeGennaro. I'm the CTO for Trevity. I've been in the industry about 12 years, and I sort of started as a physicist who loved to code. And so I guess I started my career building algorithms, sort of always focusing in the realm of AAA, so automation, augmentation, artificial intelligence. And so I had a lot of fun leading the industry and sort of building some of the traditional computer vision algorithms in that realm. Then I worked on some sort of AI assurance and building out the agency's governance framework. And then recently I've been working on augmentation, so building in capabilities where we can sort of integrate the suite of capabilities that the analysts need to conduct their workflow right into their analytic workflow, so we can meet them where they need to be met as opposed to bringing them to us, right? So that's basically me at a high level.
Absolutely. You, sir?
Awesome, and I'm Brian. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Trevity. And a little about me, I've been in the industry for about 20 years. Started my career in Lockheed Martin out of Camden, New Jersey. Raised in Puerto Rico, so a little bit of a diverse background. Joined the military, joined the Marine Corps actually in 2012, and that's where I met, very much co-founder and best friend pretty much and partner. So I did the Marine Corps, did 5 years. After the Marine Corps, specializing in geospatial. Got out, a little bit of contracting, followed by a little bit of government work, and then from there transitioning over to starting Trevity. And a lot of us is, focus on people and technology, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But that's a little bit about me.
Awesome.
Yeah, and my name is Brian Buttaccio. I'm the co-founder and COO. Similar to Brian, I kicked off my career in the Marine Corps as an O261 as a geospatial analyst. I was in the Marine Corps active duty for 5 years, and after that I transitioned to the reserves for a couple years, while also starting off in government contracting. My first contracting company, I was with them for a few years. They got acquired, and that's when Brian and I set off and started Trevity.
Well, you got a good transition here into the company. So how about a little bit more of a detailed story of how you started it a little bit, as you touched a little bit on it just now, and also who Trevity is and what you're trying to achieve. Who wants to answer that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So a lot of it actually started off on the acquisition that Brian was just mentioning about, but a lot of it came back to our roots, wanting to actually do something different, unique in terms of the other companies out there. I'm from prior contracting. I worked at Lockheed Martin. I was in the Marine Corps. I worked also for GD at some point, Skyrus, and a lot of other subs, to include also the government as a civilian employee. And there was just a lot of things that I wanted to, specific things. I'm not saying that none of them were obviously bad, but it what contributed to wanting to start something that's different, that kind of tailor as a whole to everyone. So I think that's what kind of was the roots behind Trevity, and a lot of the name what comes is the Vidi in Trevity is actually gravity. So a way to gravitate people towards us. It's part of our slogan, mission first, people first, mission always. So it's just kind of works together in unison. So
well, let's expand a little bit more about what you're doing, right? So you talked about you wanted to do something unique in the mission space. What does that mean? Unique from different companies doing what exactly?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I'll go ahead and kick it off and kind of also transition over to Dan. So we want to obviously make a big impact in the mission space overall, right? And obviously a lot of folks are doing that right now in their day-to-day operations. But when all three of us have been analysts at NGA, for example, we've seen a lot of the processes that have been, they do every single day over and over again. Some stuff that works very well, some stuff that doesn't work very well at all. And right now, a couple of the things that we're currently transitioning over to a legacy program is kind of what led us into basically creating a new software that kind of is the future where we kind of see a lot of the enterprise is going to be going. So Dan, would you love to talk about a little about our legacy program and then kind of how this is transitioning over to EVA?
Yeah, absolutely. So in order to satisfy the analytic mission, we have to focus on a sort of like every aspect of the TCPED lifecycle, right? So you have the tasking, collection, processing, exploitation, and dissemination. And so our legacy system that Brian touched on sort of brings some aspects of every part of that lifecycle together under a common operating picture to let the analysts sort of automatically discover what they need, and then conduct their workflow, and then tell the community what they found, right, or a little bit about what they did, right. And so as our legacy software, that's built on a traditional approach. The advent of that was sort of way before AI became a real viable option in your day-to-day lives, right? And so the next way forward, right, which is the thing that's really exciting us, is leveraging the power of modern agentic AI frameworks, taking that to the next level. So our application that we developed here, and we're actually debuting it at this GEOINT Symposium, it's not just an incremental step. That's the next, logical thing in the series of capabilities that is our legacy application. It's a new transformative approach, harnessing the power of agentic AI to build out bespoke workflows on the fly for the analytic community, to let them conduct their mission just that much faster. To put in perspective, the legacy application we have, there was an independent study that said that increased their efficiency between 30 to 50%. Right? So now imagine that as our sort of kickoff point for the next thing that we developed. And I firmly believe that we can nearly double that productivity, right? Not double 50%, but I think we could double 30%. And I think that's where we are, and that's why we're so excited about what we're doing. Right?
Okay. So to dive a little bit deeper, because you sounds like you have started something pretty incredible here. Can you talk about what types of data, what kinds of processing you're aiming within the analysis workflows? Talk a little bit more examples. And I'm not necessarily I'm not asking you to go into detail by talking about anything classified, but give me an example of what you're trying to accomplish and solve in more detail, so that people have a good understanding of how to apply, what to go to Trevity for.
Yeah. So one of the other software that we are debuting here today is called Inkwell. And with Inkwell, one of the biggest issues that myself and Brian saw when we were analysts on the workflow is a lot of the times there's just so much data out there, or you don't know where some of this data is. Right?
Geospatial data, we talking about imagery data, we talking about SIGINT data, what kind of type of data?
Yeah, so right now we're mainly talking about like vector geospatial data.
Got it.
On high side or on low side right now, we're showcasing a lot of stuff that is open source. But a lot of it, you don't know where it is, or it's just so much that you can't really filter through and find.
Got it.
So what Inkwell does, it allows you to use targeted data scraping, where prior to that, you're allowed to just give it a top-level domain or point it to different REST APIs you might be interested in, or databases. Then you can do your targeted data scraping over areas of interest that you're interested in. Like for our demo that we're showing at our booth is over St. Louis. You just say, hey, show me the data you have in this area, and since we scraped it already, it shows you everything that's available in that area, and allows the analysts to interact with it in a unique way, just through natural language, right? So a lot of times, since there is so much data, and you need to kind of filter it, cleanse it, kind of make more sense of it, we allow you to, in Inkwell, to speak to it just with natural language processing, very, very similar to ChatGPT, right? It's like, oh, show me the data here. Help me filter this data here. Give me more information. It does all of that for you on the fly, very, very quick, very, very responsive, and allows you to basically look at it in the actual Inkwell application. And then once you're done with that, kind of doing your data exploration, it allows you to actually push it to the ELTs that you're actually most interested in using, such as Socket GXP, ArcMap, anything along those lines.
Perfect. Okay, so diving into your slogan about people first. When you say that, can you go in a little bit more detail on what that means for you? And what I mean by that is how you're applying your products and services. And are we talking about the analysts trying to solve their problems to help them out, or what is and how does that maybe? Where's the divide between your perspective on people first, the analyst first, and sometimes that conflicts with mission first?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it all supposed to run simultaneously. But of course, for us, being prior military and backgrounds, at least for Brian and I, it was the camaraderie that we appreciated about the military, looking out for not just the active duty member or the reservists at the time, but also their families. So when we started Trevity, that was part of our huge, I guess, starting point and more of our benefits package. So when we tailor our benefits, we make sure that we have one of the best benefits in the industry. And I won't go into that because that could be a long conversation on the amount of benefits that we have. I tell you, you check that out on our website, you'll notice yourself. But it's one of the things that we focus, because if our members are able, or employees are able to feel safe back at home with their families, they're able to focus on the mission first, right? They're also able to focus on the mission. So it all correlates together, right? To the delivery from our people first, so also the mission. So they're always going to be thinking on the mission set, but at the same time, they don't have to worry in their personal life, and we're here for that. And we love to coordinate with our employees, have events, and get to know them on a personal level. We're not just a company, you're not just an employee. That's our biggest model.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Is there anything that, as we're trying to wrap up here, that you would like our audience to know about who Trevity is and what you can do for them in this industry? And we can go down the line if you all have something different.
I can start. So I think one of the first things I'll say is speed and reliability.
Right.
So we're here to deliver products, to deliver intel, to deliver information, to successfully complete the mission in a timely manner. And that goes even outside the mission. Whether it's the boring stuff, the paperwork, or the administrative side, you need help finding someone who with talent, we're here. And we promise to deliver as quickly as possible compared to, the many others that are out there. I think this is one of the things that a lot of the primes that we work with and companies that we work with love about us is just the communication and the speed of everything.
Mm-hmm. And anybody else?
I can jump in to build on that, right? You don't have to take our word for it, right? We have decades of experience in the geospatial community, and I'd implore anyone, right? So go look us up, go find out a little bit about us, the capabilities we deliver, the speed at which we deliver them, and I guess the magnitude of their impact, right? And I just say I leave it at that.
And where do people find out more about you?
Yeah, so you can go to TrevityLLC.com, or if you want, please reach out to us while we're in the building. I know Dan is on site almost every single day. Brian and I are in the building a few times a month, and we'd love to have a classified conversation with you, talk to you a little bit about our technology, both on the high side and some of the stuff that we're doing at the unclassed level.
I'll even made an adage here. Yeah, you're on site either St. Louis or Springfield.
Oh, thank you. Both sides. So all of us us three can be at NGA Campus East, and we do have a couple folks at NGA Campus West.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for letting us learn a little bit more about Trevity and each one of you and your experience. Especially as your background in the military really enhances what you do and what you bring to the table for the industry. So appreciate it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Adam Simmons here at Project Geospatial. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to everybody next time.